Regini Moran.
Oh, great first tumble.
World floor champion.
The smile says it all.
Come on, Courtney. Full twist in dismount.
He is the ringmaster. She's got gold.
This is something spectacular. Here we go.
It's the first ever medal, the all-around world final for Great Britain. What a team performance! Great Britain have done it, and they're going to the Olympics. Great Britain have a silver medal. They've made history.
Wow, wow, wow, you've got to love this sport. Hello and welcome back to what has been an incredibly successful European Gymnastics Championships for the British team, picking up where they left off there at the World Championships. Now, so far, our men's and women's team have won a medal in every final, and the British women have won both golds on offer, the team and the all-around title yesterday when Jessica Gadarova was victorious. Now, today, it's the turn of the Apparatus specialists out in Turkey. For Great Britain, new lads Luke Whitehouse and Harry Hepworth are the British high flyers hoping to make an impact on floor. Becky Downey is back in the team, and a little later on the bars final will be in her hands. Also this afternoon, Courtney Tulloch is in with a strong chance of his 4th European rings medal. That will be around 1:10 And joining me in the studio are some fine specialists themselves, both world champions with a host of European medals between them. It's Beth Tweddle and Gianni Regini Moran. Welcome back to you. But it's going well, isn't it, this European Championships? We're having a fantastic time. Beth, team and all-around are dealt with. As I was saying there, it's the turn of the specialists today. And this is a real interesting mix, isn't it, of all-around gymnasts and gymnasts that have just chosen to focus on the one piece of apparatus.
Yeah, so I think more on the women's side, you'll see more of the all-arounders competing in the apparatus. You will see some specialists coming in. For example, Becky Downey has only gone out there to do bars.
Yeah.
But on the men's side, we start to see a lot more specialists coming through and really shining on their piece of apparatus.
Yeah, rings is one of those that we're going to see Courtney in a little bit later on this afternoon. But as far as the GB team are concerned, Harry Hepworth, Luke Whitehouse, new names. What can you tell us about them, Gianni?
They're both incredible gymnasts. You know, they're new to the scene. This is their first European Championship, so it's going to be a great final, great experience for them.
Yeah.
They've done a few World Cups to kind of get that experience, but they've got fantastic routines. I mean, Luke Whitehouse is going to be, he is the first GB gymnast to do a triple backflip on the floor, so it's incredible.
Yeah. And they're both from Leeds, aren't they, where Niall Wilson hailed from?
Definitely, you know, I think Niall left a great legacy and they're following in his footsteps, and hopefully they can achieve great things today.
Yeah, yeah. Dolga Piat is out there as well, Olympic European champion. He's going to be tough to beat, but as we're saying here, men's floor is the first final this afternoon, and historically, Great Britain have landed great success on the 12-metre by 12-metre square.
Some of the 8 from Great Britain, Neil Thomas.
As crisp and clean as ever.
Lots of difficulty.
Superb performance from him. It's a bronze medal for Daniel Purvis.
Here we go then.
Such precise tumbling.
Max Whitlock takes gold.
That's beautiful. Blind landing and he nails it. Dan Purvis with a joint bronze.
Well, this one is all about him. Christian Thomas, the men's European champion.
Boy, he pulled something out of the rocker there.
What a story for Max Whitlock. He's got a silver.
Great Britain's Max Whitlock is the floor Olympic champion.
Keep calm, keep this focus. Big triple twist to finish.
Dominic Cunningham is the new men's European floor champion.
Jake Jarman takes the bronze. World floor champion Gianni Regini Moran. First gymnast onto the floor final in this European Championships. Third in the all-round competition representing Ukraine. Ilya Koftan.
Not known as a floor specialist, but that's a wonderful start. Full twist into double front. He's a tall gymnast, he has to harness his power, and he does very nicely indeed. Double pike front in that second run. Oh, 3.5 twist, very clean on all these landings. The gymnasts take the 10 most difficult moves they do and add their value together to give them a D score, a difficulty score, so it's important for every move to be difficult. Oh, and that was a little low, the front summing out of the 2.5, but he covered it well. Beautiful style. Koftan qualified top for the all-around, but had a couple of mistakes in the all-around final to be third. He'll be very keen to get some medals here, and that was a beautiful triple twist to finish. Very good, clean opening routine there, Craig.
Yep, great start by Koftan. Just that little bit of error in the middle out of the 2.5 twist. Punched a bit low into the front somersault. It won't get a deduction, but it will probably impact the start score. And as Christine said, it's the skills added together to give you a D score, your difficulty, and then the execution comes from 10. So every little step's a 10th. If they go outside the floor, it'd be 0.1. But I mean, he really has improved, not just in the all-round, but on this piece of apparatus, combining the full twist into the double front. Qualified in 8th place, so a first for him into a European floor final. And again, third day of competition. I don't want to make excuses for some of these gymnasts, but he's starting to feel a little bit fatigued, I'm sure. Good landing there, the 2.5. Gymnasts have to perform non-acrobatic elements, so it's not just about tumbling. There you can see the flares, often seen on the pomelos, up into handstand. Scored 14.066 in qualification, 13.733 for Koftan.
Second gymnast up for Great Britain, gymnast from Leeds, Harry Hepworth.
And Great Britain with Harry Hepworth.
Qualified in the top spot. Oh, big opening tumble from the round off, wraps in, multiple twist, double somersault. Huge full twist into immediate double pike front somersault. Try and stay inside the floor, it's 12 meters square. And again, another huge tumble, double twist into a double front somersault. Just a couple of steps back for adjustment. First major championships for Harry. Again, a lot of experience on the World Cup circuit. And real success. Lovely 2.5 twist, drifts into the straight front somersault. Double twist in, double back, spots the floor. This is looking good. If he keeps this up, he'll certainly challenge for a medal. Come on, Harry. Stands up into the triple. Good routine. Well done.
Well, what an unbelievable performance when you consider, Chris. He hasn't been well, has he, Harry?
No. He had a little spell in the hospital out in Turkey, but he's recovered well, he's shown his strength, and that was a fabulous performance.
What a start in this men's European floor final for Great Britain's Harry Hepworth.
It was huge tumbling. Look, the full twist in front into the double pike front. He really used all of the floor area. just floated the straight front somersault. He had a great variety of skills. Opened with that enormous triple twisting. There we go, triple twisting double back. 3 twists and 2 somersaults. You have to get so much air time to achieve that. And there, the double twist forwards into the double front. That was probably his least secure landing, but he really reacted well to that deep landing.
I'm going to say, actually, that shows great experience for somebody that's not experienced in this type of competition to actually work back and not fall back. It's better to take up, you know, probably 3/10 from that, but a fall's a full mark. So, yeah, shows great promise. Well done, Harry.
Well, he's following a score of 13.733 from Ilya Kovtun. Harry was the highest qualifier here. He scored a 14.6 in qualification. 14.2. It's a big score. 6.4 on the difficulty. Harry Hepworth of Great Britain leads this men's floor final. Milan Ozini of Germany next to go.
And now Germany with Milan Hosseini.
Hosseini as the 4th highest qualifier, and he scored a 14.266. A little bit higher than what Harry's just posted there in this final.
And opens with a very quiet 2.5 twist forwards. Very difficult skill. Oh, classy gymnast. Very slight, but made for great twisting. Oh, that he left his chest down as he landed. It was a good double twisting, double back, but he got a bit of a rebound off the floor on that landing. That was better. Just a simple dive roll, but sometimes the simple moves can be done excellently and be very impressive. All these gymnasts have to include some non-acrobatic skills, so some skills that aren't tumbling. But you have to include lots of difficult tumbles. That's quite a quiet tumble, 1.5 into front full at this level. A very, very efficient triple twist. This lad can really twist well.
He can indeed. He doesn't look your traditional good floor worker, actually. He's got a very slight frame, but great spatial awareness and really does use the floor well. Just that pass where they did the double twisting, double back, and we've talked about getting a kickback from the floor. If the shoulders are slightly forward and chest down, you do get this awful rebound, Matt, don't you?
Absolutely. Well, this, I mean, what experience. There's a lot of young gymnasts actually in this floor final, and we haven't seen a huge amount from this German team. We know they've been working hard. Had a flurry of medals sort of 5 or 6 years ago, but they've gone quiet. This new generation coming through.
This Europeans feels to me a little bit of a changing of the guard. We're not seeing so many of the names we've seen for the last sort of 8 years in the German team or the French team. Quite a big change, and it looks to be the championships that nations are testing their young gymnasts out.
I'm going to say, Chris, I totally agree. I think there's a lot of gymnasts at home that are being protected, and there's the opportunity for these guys, if they want to make the team for Paris next year, they have to have the experience, so you can't keep them at home. You have to give them the opportunity, and some of these gymnasts have really relished, and some have faltered a little bit, and maybe Paris won't be for next year. They'll be thinking, you know, after that, but it is great to see all these new gymnasts.
Well, a 14.2 will put him ahead of Harry Hepworth, and that's to do with the difficulty score. So although they both scored the same, Hosseini there scored a 5.9 for difficulty, so he's higher on execution. That's 8.3. So Hosseini leads Hepworth, Kovtun in third. Next up, Great Britain's Luke Whitehouse. Brace yourselves. If you like to count somersaults, this is your man.
That was a huge triple back, and often we see them cowboyed in the legs, but that was fantastic. And another big second tumble, double twist into a double front somersault. Double pike, he's very good on the landings. Interesting, he qualified in 7th spot, but if he carries on like this, he could just land himself on a medal. This is so impressive. He has the most difficult routine, 6.5, and the opening tumble, when we talk about gaining difficulty, he gets 0.8 of a mark for the first tumble. Come on, Luke. Double twisting, double back again, another solid landing.
This is incredible stuff.
Well, he works out of Leeds Gym, coached by Andy Butcher, Dave Murray and Tom Rawlinson. Must be a coach for every somersault. This is the best routine for me by far. That has got to go into the top spot. I think we're looking at the floor champion there.
Well, I tell you what, Luke, that was just incredible.
It was amazing. There was only one little step on landing, and that was the triple at the end. That was fantastic work.
Luke Whitehouse has burst onto the European stage in style.
That was so impressive a performance for such a young lad. Yeah, top G, absolutely.
Goodness me, I tell you what, I mean, we've got Dolgopyat coming up later on. He's the current European and Olympic floor champion, and he is going to be worried.
Well, a 6.5 start value. Well, the highest that's been posted in this championship so far, and all performed with really out any error. That's such a clean triple back, isn't it? I don't think I've ever seen a better one in the world.
I agree, totally. Yeah. I mean, as far as the landings were concerned, I don't think I've seen any better floor routines.
Like Chris picked up, there was like 1/10 there. You might be harsh and go that little shuffle at 0.1. I'd even go half a tenth. That is definitely the leader, and but by how much?
Well, the two young gymnasts out to be blooded in this arena from Great Britain have certainly shown their mettle.
14.9 for Luke Whitehouse. Beat that if you can. Wow, that was absolutely huge. What a debut at the Europeans.
Well, you'll know the stats, Matt, but we seem to be very good in Europe on floor, on the men's side and the women's. I mean, it has become a real piece of apparatus for Great Britain. And that was phenomenal. There's nobody that can touch that.
Yes, well, 3 golds, 3 bronze and silver for Great Britain, and there's no doubt about it. Luke Whitehouse is going to add to the tally. We've just got to wait and see what colour that's going to be.
Well, it certainly puts the pressure on this second part of the group that warm up. 4 warm up compete, then the second 4 warm up, and it's their turn now. They are going to be feeling that pressure.
Could you imagine beating the Olympic champion on floor in your first major competition? You're like, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's very possible.
Well, he's going to have to go some to beat that. I mean, you know, 14.9.
Yeah, on a 6.1 did Dolgopyat, and he just done a 6.5. He's 4 tenths already.
Noah Seifert is the next gymnast to go in this men's European floor final.
Oh, but that was very nice work as well. Flared out of the twisting somersault into the double front. Oh, but that he undercooked. And that, however briefly he sat down, was a sit down, and it's 1 mark deduction. So this gymnast is very unlikely to figure in the medals. But he is very excellent form. Legs, you know, a lot of gymnasts split their legs when they twist. He's so clean and precise. Super handstand shape. So no deductions for form on that tumble, no deductions for landing. Good triple twist, but that costly sit down in the middle, you can see it in his face. He just rushed into that tumble.
Another gymnast actually, it's new into the Swiss team, and we've been impressed with him in the competition so far. Again, day 3 of competition for the all-rounders, so fatigue is going to start to creep in a little bit, and when you go up against a specialist, you know, we've just seen there, fresh, just a little bit sharper, it can make all the difference.
Well, Noah Seifert has another final tomorrow. Parallel bars, he'll be alongside Jake Jarman.
It's a very common combination now, the twist into the double front somersault, either full twist or double twist. And again, this builds the difficulty. Full twist, great spatial awareness, because you go from twisting into rotation, and that's what makes those passes difficult.
He did well in the all-round, actually. He came 5th.
Yeah, as I said, he's really impressed us, this gymnast. And again, you're talking the slightest margin there, just opening out a little bit too soon.
But I think it's quite a valid comment in that he worked all round and was 5th, whereas your specialist like Luke Whitehouse was rested. He hasn't worked for 3 or 4 days, and he came out looking rested, didn't he?
Well, Noah Seifert scores a 12.8 after that sit down on floor. Benjamin Osberger. Osberger, 21 years old.
Another one of the new faces to a floor final. Oh, that was a nice start, 2.5 twist. You can see gymnasts now not opting for the going down the diagonal start. They might go down the side, but that was a very clean double twisting, double back. Oh, he did well there, a little bit low, a little hot there, so he'll pick up a 10th, but the first 2 are very clean. The Russian Wendy circle, often see that on the pommel horse. One of the non-acrobatic elements, one of the requirements. Gymnasts have 4 requirements on each piece of apparatus, one of them being a D dismount. That was well round double twist. Very stylish, this gymnast. Double twist into the top full. So we see some of the top gymnasts double twist will do a double front somersault. So obviously the more somersaults will increase the difficulty. But this will score well on the execution. To me, I don't think it's right up there on the difficulty, but very well performed. I think there's a good chance of maybe a medal. Nice triple, oh, what a shame, a big step back, he'll lose 0.3 on there, but again, a new face.
Yeah, well, that big step back at the end will be costly. The score for bronze at the moment is Great Britain's Harry Hepworth at 14.2. He scored a 14.133 in qualification, so was hoping for every single 10th, and it's a shame that final tumble pass, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't a big mistake, but his D score, his difficulty score in qualification was 5.7. Well, when you think that Luke Whitehouse was 6.5, then he's got to be extra. His execution has got to be absolutely faultless if he wants to go higher. But he is a really classy gymnast. Very elegant, as are most of these young gymnasts we've seen at this championships. Hugely well taught. That's a beautiful double twisting, double back, and he lands so well. I think this is some of the best double leg circles on the floor that I've seen. Some of them are a little bit scrappy around the knees, but he's, you know, some gymnasts just have a natural feeling for always having their legs straight, and he looks like one of those people.
It's the finery of the foundations, you can see it. You know?
I do think, actually, you look at the construction of the men's floor now, it has got a real nice balance, and a bit like they've done with the women's side, you've got a real nice balance there of the dance and the artistry's really come back, and it's been praised and rewarded. this is fantastic because it used to be all combination tumbles for the men and you rarely saw a double somersault, and it's really brought floor alive. To reward somebody for doing a triple back somersault, rightly so as well.
Oh no, I do agree with you. I think the balance is much better. The powers that be in gymnastics that set the scoring have done a good job.
Well, Berger scores a 13.8, so it's not enough to get into the top 3. That guarantees Luke Whitehouse a medal, but what colour will it be? Artem Dolgopiat next up. He's the current European and current Olympic floor champion.
And interestingly, he pulled out of the all-around competition in order to focus on this final.
The pressure will be on. Score to beat, 14.9 from Great Britain's Luke Whitehouse.
Oh, super double straight with multiple twists. Wonderful landing, but it was just a double twist into a straight front, not into a double front, which we've seen from others. Oh, but that was fabulous, wasn't it? 2.5 twist into double front. It didn't travel at all. I just love the way he accelerates his twists. He sets the twist and then wraps it in so fast. But the twisting is so pure. Double twisting, double back, makes it look so simple. Control on the non-acrobatic work. Important, this last tumble. Oh, half in, half out, kicks it out. Very nice landing. A little hop. This is going to be tight.
Wow, you can see why he is the man to beat, the way he just floats and zips his way around the floor area, Craig.
It was great. I do see a few little errors. I think it's good enough for second. I'd be surprised if it's good enough for first place. He has some very big tumbles, but I think, to be fair, when you talk about landings, really, Luke matched him on the landings, and I think he'll take him on the difficulty. I mean, he has some really good stuff. Look, he does power down there. That was a big tumble, 2.5 twist into the double front, but that's a 0.1, the hop forwards. And I think the first one probably picked up 3/10. And I would suggest that his chest very far down there for the floor. So the judges want to see the gymnast face upright. This was the big opener, double twisting, double straight. Again, look, 1, 2, a couple of tenths there. Solid routine, but I think you're looking at second for me.
And he looked a bit shaky when he was stepping away from the floor there.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't he?
The coach really looked like he was giving him a lot of support. I mean, as Olympic champion, he will have stepped onto that floor feeling great pressure. To know you've got to do more than 14.9 to take the gold is a big ask.
Well, all eyes are on that scoreboard.
Well, you were talking about this. It's harder to stay the champion, isn't it? You know, he'll have a lot more pressure than the other guys out there.
It's an anxious wait for the Olympic champion. I don't know if he's saying peace or I'm in second. Dolgopiat scores a 14.666. He is in second. Luke Whitehouse leads this men's floor final with one gymnast left to go. And here he is. It's Lucas Desange of France. He was the 6th highest qualifier and posted a 14.1 in qualification. So that will mean that Luke's weight is a little more comfortable. But Luke Whitehouse of Great Britain guaranteed at least a silver. The last gymnast then in this floor final.
Nice opener, double pike front somersault, little bounce forward. And again, that step out, costly, only 0.1 per foot. And another hop back. You can just see the difference between the top performer. It really is. You have to be so accurate to stick the landings, and that's a skill in itself, because the floors are sprung and they're on top of a podium. So you really need to absorb the floor and to control. Dolga Payat is an absolute master of that. Double twist. Again, it's a big experience for some of these younger gymnasts. That was much better control. Easier to control the relatively easier skills, without stating the obvious. Triple twist finish there. Well, I don't think it's going to upset the apple cart at the top. So, this wait for confirmation.
Yes, wait for confirmation indeed. We can tell you that Harry Hepworth has been pushed down into fourth. He did score the same as the gymnast in third, Milan Hosseini, but because of execution and the difficulty, Hosseini had a 5.9 difficulty, so he beats Harry Hepworth on execution.
Well, another very classy young gymnast here. The French didn't figure really at all in the all-around competition, but as specialists, they've got some impressive young gymnasts. Just not quite so precise on those landings.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. I don't think it'll challenge the top three. But again, a great learning experience for this gymnast, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him in the future within the French team. Again, another nation that's probably going through a bit of a transition. Lovely balance routine.
The tumbling, the level of tumbling from these gymnasts these days is quite astounding. You know, the equipment over the years has improved, and this sprung floor is helps tremendously.
So Lucas Deschange, 13.366. So there is confirmation that Luke Whitehouse is the new men's European floor champion. He takes the gold ahead of the Olympic champion and former European champion Artem Dolgopyat and Milan Hosseini of Germany. He takes the bronze, beating Harry Hepworth in fourth to bronze on execution.
Gymstars is back with loads more action. Follow the UK's best young gymnasts both inside the gym and out. Go behind the scenes with Amelie on her nail-biting journey to Olympic success in Tokyo.
I'll take you through our journey. Stay tuned.
And feel the strength, determination,
Alice's dedication to gym is just awe-inspiring.
and talent that it takes to be Gymstars. Watch now on BBC iPlayer.
Gymstars sounds very apt for the moment, doesn't it? I think Luke Whitehouse was actually on that little trail there, but we have another floor European champion. I mean, he didn't hold back, did he, Luke? I mean, you'd mentioned he was the first Brit to do a triple back, but I mean, the way that he executed it, Beth, was absolutely, well, it was world class, the best we've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, the triple back, but the whole routine. I said to Gianni, what's he like in competition? And he said the thing is with Luke, he has to control those landings, and absolutely he nailed all of those landings today, and he totally deserved that huge score.
Yeah, I mean, it was landing after landing after landing. I think there was one tiny little step in his penultimate tumble, Gianni, but I mean, as a floor world champion yourself, does he pile the pressure on you?
Definitely. I mean,
yeah.
Luke has the start value, and sometimes you tend to see with the difficult tumbles there, it does then become a lot harder to control those landings, especially with the new sprung floors and how bouncy they are.
Yeah.
And today he went out there and he absolutely nailed that routine, so he deserves it. He deserves, you know, his first European championships.
Yeah.
And he's come away as a floor European champion.
What a debut, and here he is with his medal around his neck. I mean, you both know what that feels like to step up onto the podium there. And to be the very best in Europe. And my word, like you say, he stepped onto the senior stage and yeah. So he's, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. He's been working in the background and doing quite a lot of the World Cups, and it's just been great to see that journey. Leeds Gymnastics have brought through a lot of young, talented athletes, and they've just been working away, watching the obviously the team in Liverpool last year, giving them that boost. And Luke, to be fair, has been going out to all the World Cups, getting his name on the scene, so that when he does go to the majors, the judges are already aware of him. He's not having to make his name there.
Well, we'll take a pause for the anthem, which I think is just coming up now.
Bayanlar ve baylar, sizleri İngiltere Ulusal Marşı için ayağa kalkmaya davet ediyorum.
And now, please rise and direct your attention towards the flag ceremony and the national anthem of Great Britain.
Tüm sporcuları tebrik ediyoruz.
Yeah, Dolga Pyatt was under huge pressure there to go up, and he was the penultimate gymnast to go there, and as Olympic champion, Beth, you know what it's like as well to have the weight of the world.
Yeah, it's always harder to chase the champion than to be the champion, and to be honest, we were discussing it. We're not sure whether he's nursing an injury. When he came off, he
did look shaky.
Yeah, and his difficulty is down. We've seen him performing a lot better. But full credit to Luke and to Harry. I personally was really impressed with Harry's routine.
Harry hasn't been well, and he comes out and then finishes fourth. And actually, it was the same score as the gymnast that finished in third, but he was beaten on execution.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Harry done a fantastic performance, and I do think he was a little bit unlucky not to get the bronze medal. But like we say, he has been unwell over the past few days, and the fact that he's out there performing alone is more than enough. So I think I take my hat off to Harry.
Yeah, sure. Well, the men's pommel horse and the women's vault will be taking place very shortly, but without Great Britain's Max Whitlock. For the 3 times Olympic, world and 4 times European champion, this Europeans was meant to be Max's first international back after his long break, but due to a minor injury, he's pulled out. What do you know of Max's situation, Gianni? Anything?
I've not really been around the camps. Obviously, I've heard a little bit that he's got a sore back, and I think for Max it's about protecting himself.
Yes.
Longer term, we do know that he does want to go for Paris. He wants to go and try and win another Olympic medal again, and it'll be looking at the bigger picture. It'll resting up now and going for the World Championships, and then hopefully onto Paris Olympic Games.
Yeah, it's about protecting, isn't it, that comeback? Because obviously Bethy's had this long break, so he just wants to make sure he's absolutely right.
Absolutely, when you've had that long break, and also you've got to start training smart. You've got to understand he is very aware of his body. He knows what is right, what's wrong, so he will have made that decision with his personal coach. And sometimes it's better to take that break, sit back, and then obviously come back ready for the World Championships.
Yeah, well, Ireland's Rhys McClenaghan is the highest qualifier. He won the European title back in 2018, and as I say, he's the current world champion now, highest qualifier. He's looking absolutely right. He's on song. So how much of a stepping stone do you think this will be for his plans for the Olympics, and how important is it for him to get this title today?
I mean, for Rhys, he'll be looking to go out there and hit a clean routine, and that will give him the confidence that he needs to go on to the World Championships, where he'll be looking at keeping his title of world champion.
Yeah, well, he's just walking out as we speak, and there he comes. He's giving the crowd a wave. He's looking calm. He's looking relaxed. He's very methodical with his approach often. It's a heck of a lineup, actually. There's a lot of competition here, so it's not going to be easy for Reece to get through. He doesn't have the highest difficulty in this final at all. But as well as the pommel horse final, we're also going to be running the women's vault at the same time. And Gianni, as a European bronze medalist yourself, you know what prep's like for a vault final. And I mean, it's one of these finals, isn't it? It's just over so quickly. How do you prepare for it? Because I mean, like I say, it's over in a shot.
Yeah, vault's one of those pieces where you have to do the numbers in training, you have to prepare your body for the landings, and I think a vault final is probably one of the most, well, biggest final really where anything can happen. You know, you see some of the biggest vault workers, they don't land on their feet, or they take a big step. Anything can happen, and it literally comes down to who can land on their feet. And it sounds simple, but it really comes down to that in the final.
Yeah. And Beth, I mean, Turkey have done incredibly well, certainly on the men's side, you know, with the all-around and what have you. But they've got two gymnasts in this women's vault final too. I mean, they've been doing some incredible work.
Yeah, you can see that a lot of work has been going on behind the scenes. Obviously, the men's team have been gradually coming up through the ranks over the past few years, and then that helps. That provides the role models for the younger generation coming through, both on the women's side and the men's side. So it gives that opportunity on the women's vault. Obviously, they've got to show two different vaults, and some gymnasts choose just to focus solely on the all-around, and they don't ever work a second vault. So sometimes people go, this is my opportunity to make a final, let's get two vaults together and I can get through into that vault final. But it's incredibly difficult to get those two different vaults with the difficulty needed to make that final.
And when you say different vaults, Gianni, it's kind of like a different entry onto the springboard. That's what you're aiming for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure what it's like for the girls' code, but I know for the men's, you have to normally do kind of, you know, forwards and backwards, or you know, a different sort of entry. You can't do the same sort of entry and the same landing. You have to have two different vaults, and that's why with the men you'll see normally kind of a double front somersault vault and a twisting vault. But for the women's, you'll see a Yuchenko and maybe a handspring vault. The women
and the key is that block, isn't it? The key is to transfer all that power from your run-up, bang, into that block and to get the height.
Absolutely. It's about, you know, having a nice controlled run-up, but impacting the vault and getting enough block to get the height that you need to then, you know, obviously have the landing that you want. So
yes, yeah. And these gymnasts will have warmed up in the training gym at the side of the arena, so they'll be coming in and pretty much going straight for it.
Yeah, so they've actually just recently last year changed the rules back again. They used to just warm up in the main arena, then you would have time in the back gym, and then you would just have to march out and go straight away. But obviously for the safety of the athletes, they've reintroduced the warm-up. So the first four gymnasts will get for vault, it's 2 touches. For the other apparatus, between 30 and 50 seconds. But yeah, that's why you'll see 4 gymnasts warming up and competing, and then they'll have another warm-up period.
Okay, well, you can see the start list there of the men's pommel horse final. Just a quick one, Gianni. What makes the perfect pommel horse routine in your eyes?
Well, for me, it's just about staying on. It's a very shaky piece. I mean, staying on, and you'll probably get a score that you want.
Yeah.
But this is an incredible final. I think it will be. I think Netherlands could challenge.
Yes, I do too.
You know, I think it's going to be an exciting final.
Yeah, and Beth, you looking forward to this women's vault final?
Yeah, I think Colleen from France, she's definitely the one to watch, but the Lisa from Belgium, she's going to be hot on her heels. They've both got 2 incredible first vaults, and then it's down to that second vault.
Okay, well, we'll hand across to Craig Heap and Christine Still in the commentary box for the men's pommel horse final and the women's vault final. I'll be over in a bit.
Thanks, Matt. Yes, we can just see the gymnasts warming up, making their final preparations. 2 pieces of apparatus going at the same time. Probably the first time, as long as I can remember, Chris, that we've not had, you know, British representation in the women's vault and the men's pommel horse. Seems strange.
Yeah, it does. We didn't bring any of our women's team ready to do 2 different vaults. Jess Gadarova often has, but she's been nursing an ankle injury, so didn't want to overload the vault. The all-around was more important, and that proved to be the correct decision last night when she won the all-around. But we have got gymnasts working in the background so that we would in the future hope to have representatives on the vault.
And people probably not involved in gymnastics I think, well, it's the same apparatus, surely you can just do another vault, but actually it's so technically different. It's almost like doing a different piece of apparatus, Chris.
Well, yes, it is. And if you think you're already working 4 pieces of apparatus, if you're going to do 2 completely different vaults, it's sort of like working a 5th piece. And very often, not here all the time so much, but very often people specialise on vault rather than be all-rounders and just doing 2 different vaults.
Yeah, and a bit same in the men's as well. It's very difficult because you have to have a different entry onto the vault. It's a different skill entirely. And what you tend to do is you favour whether it's a handspring or the half-on or the Yurchenko. So it's probably because you don't like doing the other entries onto the vault. So to learn another way on is almost another training session in itself. So it would be great, actually, if Belgium could pick up a medal on vault. Lisa Valen qualified in 2nd place. I think she's a real chance. For me, Pommel's, it's for Rhys to lose, really. He's by far the best gymnast in the final. I think he'll go over 15. He's done a 14.966. And what I like really about Rhys, over the last couple of years, he really has matured on and off the stage, and I think he's concentrating a lot more about his gymnastics, and the proof's in the pudding. He's putting together some of the best routines, and I think next year in Paris, if we get Max fit and if he makes the team, that will probably be the challenge of the games for me in gymnastics. But yeah, I mean, we're in for some great gymnastics on these next 2 pieces of apparatus.
Well, the stage is set. Rhys is ready to try and win back this European title that he won back in 2018. He is the current world champion on this piece of apparatus. Rhys McClenaghan of Ireland, first to go.
And when we talk about the execution of skills that you do, you just look at this and it's the height above the pommel horse, the extension at the front of the circle. You can see the hips up, and as Johnny said then, it's just about getting through, but the top guys in the world get through with these such difficult routines. The work between the handles there, it's got such variety in this routine and a real pace about it. I often talk about pommel horse like riding a bike. The quicker you go, the easier it is to balance. A little bit of a separation there, probably a 0.3, but nothing major. Come on, work up into the handstand, no hesitation on the pirouette. He's through for me. That'll take some beating. Well done, Rhys.
Well, he set the bar incredibly high with that. Not the highest difficulty in the competition, but the execution was more than fine.
Well, well done, Rhys. It's tough opening the competition, especially when you're the favourite, but he held his nerve. A little error. He didn't punch the air in celebration. He knew he'd left a little bit of a door open, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't good enough for a medal.
Across the vault we go. Lisa Valen, second highest qualifier.
And using her favourite vault first, tariffed at 5.4. Very good handspring, straight front with 1.5 twists. She's had a heavy programme. We were watching her last night competing all around and doing absolutely superbly.
Yeah, testament to the quality of athlete that she is. Day 3 of competition. Again, not just as fresh as some of the specialists, but that's a really good vault. 0.1 there for stepping out the landing zone. It will score well.
Yeah, probably not quite as flighty as we saw in the all-around, looking just a little bit more tired, but she's got very solid technique. You can see she lifts up, snaps in, and then the 1.5 twist. The fairly big deduction for the landing. The chest was pointing to the floor. To not have a deduction, your chest needs to be pointing to the platform.
Yeah. Little signs of fatigue.
Well, she'll get another vault, and the average will be taken. Belgium have a bronze as far as the tally is concerned. Yeah.
They were very impressive. The two gymnasts in the individual all-around yesterday really worked well. And when you think that they're here without their top gymnast, Nina Derwell, who's the Olympic champion on bars, she's got a bit of an injury and they decided to rest her from this Europeans. Add her into the mix with these gymnasts and Belgium are going to be a force.
Well, 14.033 for vault number 1.
So second vault has to be different. And she used a vault with a tariff of 4.4, 1 mark less. Yes, 4.4 again. It's the half on, the Sukahara with full twist. Well executed, good technique. But obviously with a tariff of 1 mark less, the total score is likely to be at least 1 mark less than her first score.
Yeah, it's always difficult to have 2 high-scoring vaults. Tend to do the more difficult vault first. So you can see the different entry onto the vaulting table there. First one was a handspring face forward. Second was the half on.
So Reese McClenaghan starts the pommel final with a 14.666. It's going to be close. Now, there are gymnasts in this final that can certainly challenge that. Maxim Gentes is next up. 28 years old. He's got a 6.2 difficulty. That's 0.2 behind Reese McClenaghan. He posted a 6.4.
Got a good physique for this piece of apparatus. Tall and slender. That's a lovely skill there, showing great control and balance on one hand. It is all about generating speed in the double leg circle. Little hesitation there, got to keep this moving. Back down, that's good. Skill called the Buznari. That's the woo, it's not a cocktail. And again, back down. Come on, well done. This is some nice, clean work. The forward travel, the Magyar, very common on this piece of apparatus. Often some gymnasts that qualify will up the difficulty in the final. Good control, nice routine. I don't think it'll go above Reese, but a real credit.
Yeah, it was efficient, wasn't it? It really was.
Body language is absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
We saw the guys from Belgium in the all-round, they're absolutely loving the gymnastics.
Yeah, they certainly seem to have a very good spirit within the team. And he has super style, hasn't he? Really matches Reese with style.
If you notice a routine, it just didn't have the same speed of circle, you know, and the problem is, if you make the circle slow, it takes a lot more energy. And often you see him falter a little bit on the dismount.
Well, over to his compatriot, 13.583 for Lisa Wallen. That's the average. So that's the score for all of the women vaulters to follow. Billinger Tehran of Turkey now. Tehran, 18 years old. What a moment for her, though, to be competing at the Euros in front of a home crowd.
Certainly is, and she starts with the full twist. Inyashenko, very popular vault and very nicely executed. We didn't see any Turkish gymnasts in the women's all-around final, so this is our first view, but that was classy work.
Yeah, great to see the home nation being represented in this final.
Well, she scored a 12.8 for that vault in qualification.
I would have thought it might be a little bit higher than that.
She opts for the Yushenko. You see the round off onto the springboard backflip on. Great angle this. What's really nice for me about the twist is she doesn't twist off the top. You can see there she blocks the somersault, drops the shoulder, initiate the turn, and if you do that you're less likely to go off to one side. You'll see some of the gymnasts, if they turn a little bit early, it pulls them to one side. Technically that is as good a twisting technique as you'll see.
And she was extremely straight. She landed on the red line down the middle, and there's a judge at the end just checking whether they do land on that red line or not.
Well, 13, yes, so slightly higher than what she scored in qualification. Awarded the 4.2 for difficulty. The second vault here potentially maybe slightly easier. She went for a 4 in qualification. Still managed to score up and around that 12.8.
Well, the gymnast has to stand there and wait for the green light to go on the judges' table. If you go before the green light comes on, you get a 0. Once the green light goes on, you have to go within 30 seconds or you get a 0. So it's no good being one of those gymnasts who needs 2 minutes to think about it before you do a move.
No, you've no time to think about it, Chris, that's for certain.
Off she goes, second vault, tariffed her to 4. Oh, handspring pike front with half turn, good second vault actually. Like really 2 completely different vaults, one the flip on, one the handspring entry.
Good solid vaulting, just needs a little bit more difficulty. Easier said than done. These gymnasts spend hours and hours in the gym. But again, another good alignment.
2 very well landed vaults, and much better to see that than something she can't do properly.
Oh, look at this. 14.566. Hogentes is just a hair's breadth behind Rhys McClenaghan, who hangs on in the lead.
Well, he's happy
just
with that.
0.1.
I think Rhys was happy with that as well.
Well, Davchan is next up. He's qualified with a difficulty score of 5.7. He dropped the difficulty level to 5.4 in the all-round. But he was European champion on pommel 2 years ago. So he can challenge, and off he goes, the 3rd gymnast in this men's European pommel final.
Well, he's a very stylish gymnast, and what he lacks on difficulty, he makes up for with the style. He's got a good extension on the circle there, on the one handle. The turns are Stockley's. The more of them you put together, the bigger difficulty is travelling backwards there. There you can see the woo travel going forwards. And again, he does a triple Russian on the end into the dismount. What's this? Oh, solid, clean routine. It's just a shame he hasn't got the difficulty, otherwise he would really push Rhys. But again, he's had a bit of a full programme, this gymnast. 30 years of age. Real credit to Armenian Gymnastics.
He's got a very efficient line, a very efficient swing. But he just a little bit low over the handles there.
12.816 is the average. Billinger Turan of Turkey, the first of the 2 Turkish gymnasts in the women's vault final. Asia Damato is next.
Great to see her back. She was last year's European champion and injured herself in the vault final, so this will be a significant moment for her to vault. Oh, and look at that. She does so with loads of confidence and aplomb. Double twisting Yushenko, flips on, high into the sky, 2 twists. Great to see.
Yeah, gosh, and as you say, a big moment, Chris. You know, injuring herself in this very event at the last Euros. She got a silver in the Euros as well on this piece of apparatus when she injured her ankle.
Yeah, great vault that. Again, you can see good timing on the twist. There's that slight pause from the top of the platform. Really does accelerate such a confident gymnast. You really have to attack this vault with confidence, Yurchenko, and without stating the obvious, all the vaults, but for the double twist, you really do have to assert yourself, don't you, Chris?
Oh yeah, you do. You've got to be prepared to block and twist. It's sort of the next level of gymnastics. If you want to be a really, truly world-class gymnast all around, you have to be able to double twist at least a Yurchenko.
Well, the Italian qualified third. Already has a team silver to her name.
Saw her twin sister perform yesterday so well in the all-around competition.
Here's your D'Amato, vault number 1. Scores 14. It's big.
Second vault, Asia D'Amato, Italy.
Another big vault here. Needs to land it clearly. She half turns on. Oh, and that's a beautiful vault, although she was offline, and you can see not very happy with herself. She makes the round off in front of the board and then half turns. So as she flips on, she makes the half turn. It's quite a complicated vault, this, and easy to be offline. You see here comes the round off, and then she turns on, but she doesn't quite get cleanly round. I love her shape in the air, however.
I'm going to say, I think she's been a bit harsh on herself there, thinking where she came from last year.
Dabchan, 14.266. He goes into third, so Rhys McClenaghan hangs on for now. Matvey Petrov of Albania next up, the 32-year-old. He's the eldest gymnast in this pommel final. Now, he was the European champion on pommel horse 3 years ago. He's been in a world final as well. Now, he has a 6-2 difficulty and scored a 14.5 in qualification. So looking for a medal. He has a chance.
Oh, and that's lovely work, showing great control. It's a piece of apparatus where they've really got to swing. He's got good extension, had to pull his hips back a bit there, but recovered well. They're working on the one handle. It is so difficult to balance up into the handstand. He'll come back down. Oh! And I was going to say, you need to keep the swing going, the momentum in the pirouette, because when you come back down into the circle, you cannot use strength. And I think he was just trying to control it a little bit too much.
What a shame, yeah.
I'm going to say, because it was looking good.
Poor lad.
Oh, you could see how far away his centre of gravity was from his support, couldn't you? There was no way of holding that back.
So back onto the pommels, into the flares. That's the spindle. Always look impressive, the flares. Look at the good leg separation, the forward travel, the Magyar, and again backwards in the Chavado. This is lovely pommel work. Such a shame. Up into the handstand, the pirouette. Well, a story of what could have been, because some very nice original pommel work.
Yeah, I liked that routine, its pace and fluency a lot.
Yeah, good effort. What a shame. 32 years old. Can he be back at 33? Yes.
I'm sure, yes. Lovely style on those flares. And when the legs are meant to be together, they're absolutely locked.
Asia D'Amato goes into the lead with an average of 13.6.
I think you were right. She was hard on herself there. It wasn't so terrible.
And a better combined score than qualification.
And now, 10
Yeah, so 13.6 leads ahead of 13.583, which is Lisa Wallen's score. On we go with Casimil Rasmussen.
Oh, and that wasn't the plan, I don't think. A flip on and a tuck back off. She'd nominated a vault at a 5 difficulty level, but that won't... The judges judge what they see, so they will change the tariff.
Yeah, very strange. Obviously something not just right. Gymnasts are really quick to react. Unless she's a bit... yeah, she didn't get her hands on at all there, did she?
No.
Just fingertips, and she probably, what we're going to do, a 1.5, Chris? 5?
Yes.
Yeah, 1.5 twist. So again, I mean, the reactions to make that adjustment.
Because she was right at the front as well, wasn't she? Yes, yeah, you're right. She was too high on. And it can be very dangerous to not get enough rotation off the top.
And qualified in 4th place, so actually, real chance of a potential medal there.
18 years old. What a shame. Put this one down to experience. She'll go again.
But she does the planned second vault. She doesn't do that vault again, or I don't expect her to. There was a time when the judges deducted a mark for doing the wrong vault if you've nominated one, but now they just judge what they see. Obviously, it'll be a lot lower tariff. It was basically a Tukchenko.
I mean, luckily she got her fingers to the vault.
Yep. So a difficulty of 3 instead of 5.
11.533 for that first vault.
Second vault now for Camille Rasmussen of Denmark.
So Asia D'Amato leads this vault final on 13.6. Lisa Wallen 13.583, just hair's breadth behind. Rasmussen then with her second vault.
Be good to see her make this successfully, and she does. The Sukahara with full twist. What a shame.
Was indeed that, Chris, because second vault was good. Great to show a bit of character there after a disappointing first vault to come back. Such a powerful gymnast. Look there, the half turn on into the Sukahara straight with a full twist. Good alignment as well.
Petrov scores a 13.266.
Without the mark off, he would have been right up there.
He would have been.
Well, 14.266, but then again, he'll lost some of the difficulty for not making that combination. Well, I hope he comes back. I want to see him again because some really nice pommel work there.
So these are the 4 gymnasts who've already competed. They watch the next 4 warm up. And as you can see, the men don't do their full pommel routine in warm up.
Well, it's just a bit of a touch of the apparatus. I mean, there's one good vault, I would say, to come on onto the next group. Chris, really, from France, Colleen.
Yeah.
It should probably take the title if she gets 2, but I think there were some really good vaults there from Asia D'Amato. And then one gymnast who could potentially challenge Reese for the top spot. The Dutch guy, Loan de Monk.
12.249 is the average for Rasmussen. What a shame. But at 18 years old, a good lesson, Chris.
Yeah, and Denmark, you know, they haven't got many finalists. Great for her to have made the European final. She no doubt will have come with that as her aim.
You can see Koftan. This is such a difficult piece of apparatus for sapping strength. You know, the double leg circle, they probably do. I remember I'm saying back in the day, used to do a Magyar Shavado and get off. I mean, the number of circles these guys do in the routine now is just absolute phenomenal, and the strength you need to get through. So he will be feeling very fatigued. There's your current leader on pommel horse, Rhys McClenaghan. 14.666 to beat. He'll have a bit of an edgy weight, Chris.
Yes. Well, the next gymnast to come up, Laurent de Munck, is going to challenge him. He's gonna challenge. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be an anxious weight.
Well, he's got the big start value, hasn't he?
Yes, yeah, he was 6th in the world final, and he fell. He got a silver at last year's Euros. So this could well be his moment.
Well, I think when the favourite makes a slight error, it's about seizing the opportunity. But he'll be feeling very pressured for certain, because here's the opportunity.
Yep.
To take the title.
He's the only gymnast from the Netherlands to medal on pommel horse at the Euros. Can he upgrade his silver and go for gold? It's an anxious wait for Ireland's Rhys McClenaghan, who leads this pommel final.
Well, a little bit short there on the handstand. He's going to have to really try and relax into the routine. And again, oh, that's good work on the one handle. Oh, and again, that little separation of the legs down between the handles, the Russian Wendy swing. Not just the same extension as Rhys, but that was good work. He's building in confidence, and again another little separation. The forward travel, the Magyar, he'll come backwards, and the Shavado up into the handstand with the pirouette. Well, for me, it had a few errors. It won't be good enough, I don't think, to go above Rhys, but another good routine. Should medal.
It didn't feel as sharp, did it, Chris?
No, it didn't. And like you said, Craig, there were a couple of errors. Leg split. It didn't quite have the fluency, did it? But he's a good pommel worker. He might sneak into the medals.
Yeah, I think he might, just because of that huge start, difficulty 6-5. We'll have to wait and see.
Ceren Biner, 8th highest qualifier and the second of the Turkish gymnasts.
And a nicely flighted full twisting Yushchenko. Beautiful straight body. Lovely and tight in the legs. They've done a great job, Turkey, putting 2 gymnasts into the vault final, because they're not a country on the women's side so highly ranked.
Yeah, we often associate Turkish gymnastics, the men's side, so it is absolutely fantastic to see the women pushing through into these finals.
Clean, precise work as well. It is the piece if you want to make a bit of a name for yourself. Like, you know, obviously Turkey are hosting this championships, and they will have said, we'd like some gymnasts, some female gymnasts in our finals. Where's the best opportunity to make finals? And vault is definitely has that opportunity.
Yeah, certainly with the 2 vaults, because again, a lot of the top gymnasts all around will only do the 1 vault. So you're right, there's a lot of strategy goes into some of this, you know, the format for the competition.
There's the score for Ceren Biner, 13.066.
Ceren Biner, 13.066. Vault number 1.
Time for the second vault of Ceren Biner, Turkey.
So again, has to be different. Just a 3-8 this time, or in the tuck position from the half on, not from the round off. So the tuck shape doesn't carry such a good difficulty score as the straight. The body travels a little slower in the straight position, so it's a higher tariff. The half turn on from the board. Tuck, very nice and neat again though, legs locked together.
Yeah, good alignment as well.
And enjoying the moment, home crowd.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we have a score on pommel horse. Yes, indeed.
Well, De Monk scores 14.266.
No fooling the judges.
No.
You know, I mean, some deductions are hard to see, but they were pretty obvious there. The leg separations. Had an opportunity, let it slip.
Radomir Sliš next for Czech Republic. He's 23 years old. He scored a 14.33 in qualification.
Oh, and he should have gone back into the handle there, so he'll be down on the difficulty, but he's recovered well. Another gymnast that's got a good extension of the double leg circle. Physique suited to this piece of apparatus. Long levers, long lines. There, the travel, the Wu. He'll go forward, the Magyar. And backwards, great to see the Czech Republic represented here in this pommel final. He's going for the Wendy on the end into the dismount. Nice routine. I think he might just struggle a little bit on the difficulty.
Well,
he's through.
Yeah, he's through. Reese McLennan leads 14.66. Gentes of Belgium currently in second at 14.566, and then Davtjan in third, 14.266.
Long wait here for this score.
And there's the score of
Ceren Bina is in.
12.766. D'Amato still in first place.
12.766.
And Bilge Darhan.
Well, here comes the highest qualifier for the women's vault final. Colleen de Vuillard, European champion back in 2017. She was third last year. Brace yourselves.
Well, she's certainly had a good season. Oh, lovely 1.5 twist. Yeah, she's done a lot of World Cups and she's had a very good season on vault. That was a powerful, strong vault.
Yeah, powerful gymnast.
The bronze medalist of the
Going on for the handspring, 1.5 twist. Look, you can see head down really accelerates. 25 meters the gymnasts have. Drives her hands in, blocks, wraps in. 1.5 twist. Plenty of time to open out the arms, stop the twisting movement, spot the ground, chest up.
She really does run like a long jumper, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Like pounds along that runway. The theory on coaching vault is that your gymnast wants to be running at about 70% of their maximum down the runway. But I think she was a bit higher than 70% for her maximum there.
Well, interesting, you talk about athletics. She has a very traditional sprinter start.
Yes.
Head down.
Yeah.
And then you come up, and you don't see many actually. So I wonder if they have done sprint training.
Oh, I think probably so. I mean, it is slightly different if you're going to do the Yushchenko vault, because if you're travelling too fast, you can't convert into the round off. But this forward vaulting like she does.
De Vuillard, point number 1, 14.3. It's big, it's going well. It's looking on for a European title here.
Well, she needs to match it with the second vault. Always a tough call, but that same distinctive style into the round off this time, and the full twist. Not such a difficult vault, but beautiful technique and beautiful height off the top. It's going to be close, I think.
I agree, Chris, and actually for a vault final, a full twist is quite a safe second vault. I mean, great execution in the air. You know, that one step back, 0.1.
Well, 13.6 is the target. Fifth for Slish, 13.6.
See down on his start value, 5.6.
Yeah, he's in fifth, so McClanahan leads. Gentes second, Davchan third. On we go then with Yumin Abadini.
Well, he breaks into some nice flare work outside of the handles, the spindle. This is really nice work. Good clearance of the horse. Travel with the spindle in the flare and again backwards. You used to get a bonus for doing it in flare, but then the judges put it back down. It's the same now as the double leg circle. Little bit of a strength into the dismount, but good solid routine. Will it be good enough to push for a medal? Needs 14.266.
Which is what he scored in qualification. He scored, he actually was slightly down in the all-round. He scored 14.1, but he's gonna push. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think he'll push for first, but he might challenge for a medal. That'd be great for Italy.
Well, that would be Davchan out.
I want Davchan to keep the medal. He's doing it for the old guys.
There you are, change your mind
Hope
then.
for me and you, man.
Well, interestingly, Italy, of course, on the men's side won the team, and it was their pommel horse that won it for them.
13.8. De Vuillard is in the lead. She's in the lead by 0.2.
Which was exactly what D'Amato knew when she landed outside of the line, which was why she was so cheesed off. Oh, super height. Oh, but I think that was a bit of an uncomfortable landing there. It didn't look short, but she just didn't meet the floor very well.
No, I don't think she'll be doing a second vault. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you can just land a little bit short. The ankle bone as well, you sometimes have ridges, and if they just nip together, it can be quite painful, and it looks like that'll be the end of a competition.
Because it was actually a well-flighted vault. She just sort of didn't look like she quite got her legs ready for landing.
And again, you need to take the sensible option. Qualified in 6th place, so little potential, probably not great, but 15 years of age. Just want to make sure that she can come back and compete again.
So she's just testing that ankle out, seeing what it feels like.
14.166 for Aberdeen. Not just good enough to push into the medals. We should be going back to the vault for the second vault. No, she's just going to stick to the one vault, I think.
Which means that Maxime Gentes from Belgium will be medalist number 2.
Do you think is she going back there, Chris, doing a second vault?
She looks like she's walking back for a second vault, doesn't she? Sometimes it's just a bit of a shock of a landing. But, well.
Gutsy lady.
Yeah, it wasn't, well, we didn't see a close-up of it, but it didn't look a tremendously short landing, but it looked uncomfortable.
12.8, Masiri of Greece, first vault.
8 in her first vault. And here she goes again. Athanasia Masiri.
So second vault, Athanasia Masiri of Greece.
And she's certainly running freely. Oh, very nice second vault as well. The half turn on, the pike front off. She's a young gymnast. She looks like she's got quite a prospect to be a good vaulter in the future.
Yeah, I was really surprised where that vault came from, actually, because it was very powerful off the top of the platform. And again, that's what they're thinking. This definitely is a gymnast of the future for this piece of apparatus. What you can see there, really accelerates down the round off. Half turn, great alignment as well, Chris.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Now, with a bit more training to be able to half turn out or 1.5 turn out of that, you could see she would be a real contender in the future.
Yeah, well done.
And we go to Pommel horse again. Final competitor in this final. From Ukraine, Ilya Kovtun.
From Ukraine, Ilya Kovtun. Such a experienced and favoured gymnast here.
14.4 in qualification, so if he can replicate that, that'd secure him a bronze medal. He really has matured over these past couple of years into a solid performer. A real all-rounder. Just a little bit of a separation there. That's good work. Got to keep the driving of the heels. Come on, well done. Lovely, difficult work. Travel down the horse and again. Triple Russian circle on the end. Come on, up into the handstand. Pirouette, dismount. Good routine, Kovtun. I really hope that's good enough for a medal, Chris.
Lovely to see from Kovtun. Obviously, he's not being able to train in his home country. He and his coach, believe, are training in Croatia, living away from home. And we've seen him compete at most of the World Cup events over this last couple of years. And like you say, Craig, we've seen him on the public stage really mature as a gymnast.
He has indeed. You can tell when he walks off, he is looking a little bit fatigued. This is really impressive vaulting, Chris, from this young Greek gymnast.
There we are, an average of 12.75. I think she's made a lot of friends here.
Well, first look at Romanian gymnast. Just an end, 15 years of age. Sabrina Manicu Voni. She was first on the vault in the Junior Europeans.
Oh, a lovely double twist there. Of course, with a very famous mother, Voina, who wowed us in the great days of Romanian gymnastics. So
I'm not that old, Chris, so I'll have to take your word for that. Well, that double twist seemed to come from nowhere, to be fair. I wasn't expecting it because, you know, we see some of these run-ups and they really attack the board, but it looked a very well-measured approach to the springboard and then just wraps in this double twist. Almost like a little stutter on the springboard.
Yeah, some gymnasts really don't like to approach the Yushchenko too fast. They like to feel a bit more in control of it. But if you hit it, the platform at the right angle, that's the crunch. And with the head well fixed between the arms, which she has there, you can see she lifts off. Now, no doubt if she ran a little faster, it would be a longer vault. And she'll probably be penalised a little bit for the length of the vault, that it blocked up but didn't have much length. But she's a young gymnast, first senior championships, and Romania hoping for much from her.
Yeah, and this new generation of gymnasts for sure. Well, double twist so good on difficulty. So, I mean, she qualified in 5th place. I mean, this would be fantastic for Romania. 13.8! 8.8 on the execution. That's a good opening score. She had 13.6 in qualification for that vault. So second vault, Voina of Romania to challenge for a vault medal.
Still a very measured approach, the half turn on the front. Again, good technique there. I'm sure that can be developed well. Camila Voina was her mother, or is her mother, and she was very famous for the double straight into punch front that she competed on floor.
In her very first European Championship.
So the different entry onto the vault, round off, half turn. into the pike front somersault. I mean, not just as zippy as Missouri from Greece for the second phase, but be a good average. And Koftan scores 14.233. Settles for 5th. So confirmed, Rhys McClenaghan of Ireland becomes European champion for the second time, last back in 2018. Maxime Gente of Belgium takes the silver. And what about that? Arthur Davitan, 30 years of age, takes a bronze.
Well done, Rhys. He soaked up all the pressure, was the man to beat, went out first and laid down the score that nobody could match.
World champion, European champion, really developing in a fine gymnast. Well done, Rhys, and all his coaching team.
13.083, the average puts her into 4th. So Colleen de Villiers takes the gold medal, takes the title. Asia D'Amato, the silver, and Lisa Velen, the bronze. Very much the 3 gymnasts that we would have expected in this top group.
Actually, that's 1, 2 and 3 from qualification.
Yep.
So confirmation of the men's Pomelos final. European champion Rhys McClenaghan from Ireland takes the gold. Maxime Gente of Belgium the silver, and Arthur Davitan of Armenia the bronze.
And here's confirmation of the vault. Colleen de Villiers from France, their first medal of the championships on the women's side. Asia D'Amato, the silver, and Lisa Velen of Belgium, the bronze medal.
So Ireland's Rhys McClenaghan is back on the top spot as far as European pommel medalists are concerned. And it was tough, actually. We knew it was going to be close, didn't we, Gianni? We talked about that to begin with. But, yeah, he just did enough by a 10th.
Yeah, going up first. It's good because you get your routine done out of the way. But he had a long wait. Yeah. And we know he's performed better than this. He had a few little errors, but he's still done enough to get the score that he needed.
Yeah, the style that he has, I mean, he splayed his legs a little bit there, as you could see, but the rotation, the speed that he works at, it sometimes helps him out quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he circles that pommel very fast, which obviously can really help you, but also, you know, can cause you to lose a little bit of control sometimes. And we've seen that a couple of times throughout that routine where he had a few leg splits, and that just cost him a few temps.
Yeah, I mean, Gentes, the Belgian lad as well. I mean, they've done very well, the Belgians, at these championships, Beth.
Yeah, they've really improved. I mean, obviously we've seen results coming through on the women's side, but actually on the men's side we saw 2 very strong contenders in the all-around, and then their performance really chasing for medals. But for Rhys, it's a different challenge to come in as a world champion, and this is his first time coming into a major, having been crowned champion. It's such a different feeling. So you could see he was disappointed with the performance, but he'll be pleased with obviously the title. But he knows he can improve on that. But actually, he's done a lot of World Cups this year, and previously where he may have had those errors, he potentially would have come off, whereas I think all of those World Cups, going out there, getting more competitive experience has really helped him.
Well, we've watched him grow a lot, haven't we, as a man as well, and his kind of perspective and his approach to competition. So by Paris, you know, it's game on with Max, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Max is going to rest up. You know, he's going to be, I'm sure he's watching this at home. But yeah, I mean, there's no pressure. Max has achieved great things, and you know, you've just got to take that. He is the triple Olympic champion at the end of the day. So for him, it would just be going out there, and there is no pressure. There's no pressure for Max at all. So
he's done it.
He's done it. He's completed it.
He's got everything. He's got the lot, hasn't he, Max Whitlock? And he's having a rest at the moment as well. But looking ahead to Paris, and obviously it's going to be a home games for the French gymnast, Colleen de Vuillard, who won back the European title, and she did it in style. She had to watch a few vaulters go beforehand, but she's a class act.
Yeah, I mean, this first vault is incredible. The handspring with the 1.5 twist. She's grown with this vault. We have seen her in warm-ups previously where it hasn't gone to plan, but over the past year or so she's really improved on the consistency. Second vault, she completely played safe. She had obviously seen the field, she had seen what had already been out there and what had scored. She was in the second group, so she knew what she needed and just played safe with the full twist. We know she can do harder second vault.
Yeah, and Asia D'Amato as well, she injured her ankle in that event at the last Euros. So it was a big moment, I think quite a psychological moment for her to come back, and there she is getting a silver medal. I mean, what a comeback.
And I do think she was harsh on herself. I mean, yes, she slightly landed out of line, but actually the vault overall was very clean and very consistent. So for where she was this time last year and the disappointment of getting injured in that final, to be back out there winning a silver medal, and obviously after a twin sister picking up the medal yesterday as well. Sure. Successful weekend for that family.
Absolutely, and a successful week for Great Britain as well. Earlier on, you may have seen Luke Whitehouse was victorious on floor, winning the floor European title, and just a little while ago he spoke to Betty Glover. Here's what he had to say.
Luke, congratulations. You are European champion on your debut as well. Can you even begin to just sum this up?
Honestly, I just came here to enjoy myself and gain some experience. For me, the team medal was enough. And then I made floor final. Obviously, the goal is always to win. So yeah, that was probably the best routine of my life. So yeah, I'm really happy.
Can you believe it? I feel like you're a little bit shocked. Has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Same with the team final. Yeah, I don't know. I have no words right now.
Commentary said that your routine on the floor just then was the best that they think they've ever seen. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, really good. So I'd be the Olympic champion. So with Paris next year, it's looking good.
Massive score. How did you think that you could achieve the score like that?
I knew I could do it, but I've never scored that high. The highest before was like 14.55. So when I saw it come up, I knew that was a good chance of the medal, but obviously Doglepat was still to go. And then when his score came up, I was just over the moon.
Luke, this is your first major competition. This is your first European Championships. How was it preparing for that final?
All week, me and Baz have been like, it's a Conor McGregor quote, if you can see it and you have the courage to speak it, it'll happen. And we've been saying ever since the team final that it's going to happen, I'm going to win gold. And today I won gold.
You've kind of spoken it into existence.
Yeah.
And you make the triple back just look so easy.
I've done so many now, hundreds and hundreds, so just the repetition and doing them over again in competition.
And just finally, your mum and your dad are in the crowd at your first major competition. Did you get to look at them?
Yeah, I looked at them and waved them as I walked out, and then when I finished the routine, I pumped my fist at my dad, so yeah, they'll be really happy.
Do you know what, Luke? Congratulations, you deserve it. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yes. We all send our very best to you, Luke. Absolutely superb. And of course, so much sacrifice goes in from a parent's perspective as well. Very, very proud. As is the family of this man here, Rhys McClenaghan, who has just received the gold medal for the pommel horse. He wins it back. He won it in 2018. It was a golden Commonwealth year for him as well that year, but he's the world champion and now regains the European title. Huge congratulations to Rhys McClenaghan. There we are. Now, if you are watching and listening to our commentary and thinking, who makes up these moves and how on earth do they get their names? Well, they are mostly named after the gymnast that created them, and Liam Loftus has been to meet the British ringmaster to get the lowdown on the origins of the tulloch.
For me, it's an incredible feeling to have my surname in the code of points, the book of gymnastics for forever.
Courtney, how did this become your discipline?
I remember when I started, I didn't enjoy it too much because it takes a very long time to develop the strength to be able to do real proper skills on the rings. But I remember I was going to a few comps and I was picking up a few medals, standing on top of the podium for the rings. I thought, I quite like this, I'm going to focus on this a little bit more. Now I've just progressed so much on the rings and it's my favourite piece of apparatus.
Courtney Tulloch on the rings for Great Britain.
He is the ringmaster! You were talking about skills there. You have a signature move on the rings.
And that is immensely powerful. The first time that has been seen.
How do you create a signature move?
I remember the day so clearly. I think I was like 9, 8 years old. There would be this machine that would take away like 50% of your body weight. It's called 50-50. I'd play on that for ages, just have fun, trying new strength skills, just inventing stuff. And I did this one skill into another skill. And I remember thinking, oh, I've never seen anyone do that before. And took a video of it on my W8 10R, Sony Ericsson or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, keep that. Showed my coach and he was like, yeah, that would be your skill if you completed that when you're older. When I turned into a senior and I'd had enough strength, I started to learn it properly without help and support. And for me, it's an incredible feeling to have my surname in the code of points, the book of gymnastics for forever.
So cool, he's so cool. Do you know, Craig Heap in our commentary box, he designed the heap and he used to practice it on every single landing and he would perform it occasionally. Just kidding, Craig. Anyway, Petrunius is up. He's going for his 7th title in rings up against Courtney. So this is not going to be easy for Courtney, but he knows what it's all about. He's going for his 4th European title. It's almost Courtney time, Gianni.
It's time.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, Courtney has been in these finals before. He knows what he needs to do. And again, Petronius is one of his biggest rivals, biggest competitors. Yeah. Also, we've got Adam Asil.
Well, he was amazing, wasn't he, the all-round?
A fantastic performance. So I think for Courtney, you know, if he keeps his cool,
yeah,
and nails the dismount, that's a big thing for Courtney, is nailing that dismount. Yeah. He's worked very hard on that over the past few years. I think he'll get the score.
Yeah. Do you think he'll be fresh after that all round?
Yeah, Adam Asil.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a little bit tired. I think he will. He's had a day to rest, but you know, rings, a bit of adrenaline, they pull it out. These rings workers, they're on another level. So yeah, it'll be a good final for sure.
Well, the rings final will be up very, very shortly, and the British team out in Turkey shows a real mixture of experience. At 31 years old, Becky Downey's international debut was before some of the gymnasts at the Europeans were even born. Becky is a 2-time European champion that's been in and out of the British team in recent years. I think it's fair to say that her gymnastics journey has been full of twists and turns.
When we look back at your past kind of 3-4 years, it's been a difficult time for you. How have you kind of managed to get that kind of fresh mindset?
I think it was kind of just remembering what my long-term goal was, and my long-term goal was always trying to achieve that Olympic medal. So it's kind of, how do I reset to do that? I still loved what I do, and I just felt I have so much more to give.
Was there a moment where you thought, right, I want to do this?
I guess a big question last year was kind of coming back into the space and seeing how I felt. That was kind of like my decider year, really. Did I want to stay or did I not want to stay? And then as soon as I got injured in the summer, it was like a huge injury. In some ways, I just felt a real sense of calm, like the complete opposite, as in like, I know I'm going to be absolutely fine. My Achilles has been such a problem for so many years, which was why I kind of became a bit more of a specialist. But I always found the ligaments not really that difficult. It was just, I'd already had one rupture and you kind of knew what could happen if you did another one. And then once I kind of done it, I was like, well, it's done now. So one of my biggest fears essentially had happened, and I was kind of just excited to kind of get it healed. And if it did heal well, I knew how strong they can be. And then, yeah, it's a big game changer going forward.
Let's talk about the bars then, because you're the bars queen, right? How have you managed to build that difficulty back up?
I've done enough training, I guess, throughout the years with different injuries to know how to fall. So they let me back on bars within 2 weeks of the Achilles injury in a boot, which is quite crazy. It takes a while to get everything back, and I mean, I did everything over a complete bare pit, so if I did fall, the risk factor was really low. I think I've just learned the process now, learned what works for me, and it's kind of just looking at each day as like, what do you really want? What is my long-term goal, and how am I gonna get there, really? That's kind of what keeps me going.
Beth, Becky was incredible in that team final. She had to wait, didn't she? She was the last gymnast to go on their final piece of apparatus. She was only there to do bars and, you know, to score over 14.
Yeah, it's difficult. When you are a specialist, people think, oh, great, you've only got to go out there and do one apparatus. But actually, sometimes, for example, the girls started on the beam, so she then had so much time to just sit and wait. And quite often it's nice just to get one apparatus out the way so that you can take in the audience, take in the atmosphere, but she literally didn't even have that opportunity. She went straight in, last gymnast, but she did an incredible routine. It was solid performance, and if she does that again today, then who knows where that can leave her on the podium.
How much do you think she'll relish the opportunity to come out and have this individual apparatus final?
Massively. I mean, she's got a plan. She knows how to perform at these majors. She's been in many bar finals. She's won 2 European titles previously.
Yes.
And she's in a very different mindset now. It's when you are competing when you're slightly older, the way you compete, the way you train is very different to when you are 15, 16.
Yeah, it's interesting. She's now 31, and you know, you dabbled with when you were going to retire, when you were going to come back, how much you were going to remain focused, how much it was going to be part of your life. It's an interesting period that she's in now, and being very much more, as we heard her talking there, more reflective on her gymnastics.
Yeah, and she's got stuff outside of gymnastics as well. She's got bits that she's doing commercially. She does the leotards. So she kind of has that balance of being in the gym, going towards that Olympic goal, but she has got stuff outside of it, and she's obviously got a very supportive family, supportive network around her that are helping her come back from that injury and get back out there on the international scene.
Yeah, well, Becky will be out any second now. We can see the gymnast coming out. Georgia Vuila is out, and Becky will be next, so let's just see how she's looking. Here she comes. Relishing the opportunity. Becky was the 4th highest qualifier. Already has a team gold, as we were talking about there as well. Lisa Wallen, 8th highest qualifier. Now Alicia D'Amato, who's this gymnast here, just stepping up. Now she was the highest qualifier. Just seen her sister get a silver on vault, and Elizabeth Seitz is the 3rd highest qualifier. So there's great pedigree in here. Actually, Seitz and Becky will know each other well. They've battled it out, haven't they, for many a year?
Yeah, I mean, Seitz has been on the international scene for a long time. She's done 3 Olympic Games and she was European champion. So there's a lot of gymnasts in this final that have won medals. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a really close final, and it will literally come down to the tenths.
Yeah, well, we'll allow the gymnasts to warm up both on bars and on rings. And we'll hear from Rhys McClenaghan, who just a few moments ago was talking to Betty Glover.
Rhys, you're European champion like you were back in 2018. Are you proud to have your title back?
Yeah, I'm still here. That's a nice way to put it.
Obviously, you started the competition. You were up first. You were also the favourite. How did you deal with that pressure?
There's pressure every time I compete, and I think I put the same pressure on myself in every single routine I do, whether that be in training or at these major internationals. But I had an anxious weight there. I don't like anxious weight, so I know what I need to improve on. I need to glue those legs together and not make those mistakes again, and make sure I come out on top in even better fashion than I did today.
I noticed after your routine that you didn't punch the air like you usually do. Did you know that you had more to give out there?
Yeah, for sure. There was mistakes in that routine, but you know, the consistency's there. There's no major errors. There's no falls off the pommel. I didn't fall this whole entire year yet, maybe.
Touch wood.
But no, still happy with the consistency, and I'm happy that there's more work to be done.
How did it feel coming into a major competition as world champion? Did that kind of create a different challenge?
I guess it does, yeah. But again, I kind of put all of the pressure on my shoulders. I don't let outside pressure get to me. So even the routines I do in training, I put that pressure on myself. So it's quite identical when it comes to competitions like this.
What do you say to yourself before you go out there and compete?
I rely on the numbers I've done in training. It's just another routine. That's what my coach tells me just before the routine, and that's exactly what it is.
Well, congratulations, well done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Rhys McClenaghan there, retaining his European title that he won back in 2018. And talking of titles, this man here is going for Rings European title number 7. It's not going to be an easy task, but he's fresh. And what a story it would be for Eleftherios Petrunius to become European champion 7 times.
Absolutely incredible, Matt. And I'm just looking down of all the finals in this European Championships, and I would say this is probably the most difficult final. It's got everything on it. Olympic champion, world champions in it, obviously European champions. So it's going to be really tough for Courtney to get into the medals. It's not a foregone conclusion. We know he's right up there, he's got the capabilities, but, you know, the current Olympic champion qualified in 4th place. It tells you the level of this competition, and Petrunius really is a champion amongst champions, and some of these new names as well. And same for bars as well, Chris, do you think?
Yes, I mean, D'Amato's been the top qualifier. And she was consistently yesterday in the all-around. She was the top on the bars as well. But there's several of them that can, you know, you only need a tiny error. There's several of them with a similar start score. Actually, Becky Downey has the highest, or in qualification, she posted the highest difficulty score of 6.3. And that is a routine she can do, so we would hope to see it replicated.
Well, I'm on for Bex to win a medal. I'm feeling confident today. I've got the vibes. I'm sending them down the airwaves.
I was feeling great for her in that all-round, and in the team final, I should say, and she did incredibly well.
She had faith in your belief.
There we go.
So this is then the men's European rings final. First up, Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan.
Oh, very strong on this piece of apparatus, naturally. Gymnasts have to hit the held positions for the required 2 seconds. Swing to strength, that's good. The inverted crucifix. Gymnasts have to swing as well. The guy's got really good lift on the swinging. Swing to strength, back up rise into the Maltese. Crucifix. He's got a swing to handstand. Back up rise into the top planche, legs locked together. That's the requirement. Good position in the handstand. Lovely straight line from fingertips to toes. Winds up, big dismount. Full twisting double straight. Just that little step on landing, but a very good routine. This is going to be a really tight, contested rings final, Matt.
Oh, there's no question about it. It's all going to be won and lost on the landings. I was talking to Gianni about this earlier on, and yeah, there's not much between them once they're on the rings, but it's all about the height and then whether or not they can stick that final move.
Well, in terms of difficulty level, the span is from 5.9 to 6.3, so 0.4 in terms of difficulty is what separates the lowest qualifier to the highest qualifier, and so really it is all just on tiny margins.
Naomi Visser, first to go, 21 years old. Also in the floor final. She's been in a few European finals herself.
beautifully elegant gymnast, and that was a good opener. The Kachev with a half turn. Oh, she had to use a little bit of strength over that, but nicely up to the high bar. Full of difficulty. She would have hoped to get the feet straight on there. Had to take the extra up start, but that was a nice chuck with half turn. Here, oh, and she just went early. To be honest, she was competing last night, and it's not massively surprising to see that she's a little bit weary today. The timing on these pirouettes is so fine, and she just went a fraction early.
Well, what a shame. I mean, she was the second highest qualifier, so the medal door is open.
It is indeed. So she needs this half turn. She'll do it again and make sure she gets over into the full turn, into the dismount. The full pirouette is an element that you have to include. If you don't include it, you lose half a mark. So she knew she had to get back on and do it.
And a bit like on the men's high bar, you have to hit the handstand, otherwise you get severely punished by the judges. And obviously, going for that full turn to hit the handstand, didn't just put her feet over the bar enough. But this was beautiful, catch on full stretch. The transition down to the low bar. Takes the upstart. And also with the full twist and before the dismount, she goes straight into the dismount. The feet came off there.
Yeah.
Into trouble a little bit. And you can sort of see from when that happens, it's hard graft.
Nikita Simonov scores 14.566. So a big score to start with.
Well, he doesn't look very happy with that, does he? A bit of a head shake, but big score.
Well, Marco Lodadio of Italy was a big part of the team that won gold in the team final. He's had a good few silvers at world level in 2019 and 2021. He was second at the European Championships back in 2019 as well on this piece of apparatus, and a bronze at the World Championships the year before that, and has a 6-3 difficulty.
Oh, that's a very impressive start. Put from vertical straight up into the top planche. I was going to say, you have to go way back in the history books not to see an Italian gymnast in a rings final. The days of the great Yuri Keke. Swing to inverted crucifix, for me a little bit high. You need to be dead level with the rings, but a good swing into the strength, the Maltese, into the crucifix. Lovely front somersault into crucifix there, known as the Homner. Needs to swing into handstand, and he does. Great extension in the arms. Double twisting, double back. Good, solid landing. Again, 14.633 in qualification. Another one. This is such a tight group.
Well, he's nailed that landing, so that is key. I mean, this is going to be very, very close. Lean, isn't he?
Very clean. Legs locked together on all these somersaults. The Italian team, I mean, they won quite convincingly the team competition, and they look full of talent.
Well, what a shame for Naomi Visser. 11.8. Very uncharacteristic of her.
Like I said, for these gymnasts who were in the all-around competition, it's quite a tough schedule.
Zoya Sekai of Hungary next. She was in the all-round. She finished 17th. See how she's feeling.
Now does her pirouette early, stalled a full into Shap and Pack Salto, so she's got two requirements out of the way straight away. and her release and recatch. That was an efficient ginger. So this routine is really quite efficient. Here comes the forward element, the Jaeger somersault. She's pretty much fulfilled all the requirements now. Another good full pirouette into a dismount. Short routine, full of difficulty, and that's a little bit the secret.
Yeah, efficiency.
That was a fantastic routine. Says she qualified in 7th position.
Yeah, she probably hasn't got the big bonuses, you know, sort of. But the one in the middle, the Shap swing back and then up into Ginga Salto, is 2 difficult moves linked, which does give her bonus.
Well, she had a 5.9 in qualification. But the way she executed the routine, good final part as well. The full pirouette straight into the dismount. So again, it's efficiency, not having to take an extra giant. Great work.
Oh, and Marco Laudadio scored 14.666. And to put that into perspective, that's the highest ring score that we've seen at these championships so far, beating all qualification scores. Oh, here is the man of the moment and the man of the last 6 years, Eleftherios Petrounias, going for his 7th title here. This is absolutely incredible stuff from the Greek. He's 32 years old. Come on, son.
Talking of sons, he has got one at home. Be watching his dad, no doubt. A real master of this piece of apparatus. And it's the strength here now. Press into the Maltese. Lovely swinging. Now that's a better inverted crucifix. Just didn't hold long enough there, but that's good. Up into the handstand. Good extension, locking out the elbows. Swing to strength, not a flicker there. The back up rise into the straight top planche, into crucifix. Here's the most difficult routine. Front somersault, dead level with the rings there. The Humner. Locks out. It'll be down to the dismount. Double twisting, double back. Oh, and that little step to the side. Could that cost him the title? We're down to fine margins, Matt, but I did think early on there was a little flicker.
What a shot. I think he knows it as well. He knows whatever happens, it's going to be very, very close.
Yeah, you know, when you've been 6 times champion, you must approach it thinking one day it's not going to work for me. Is this the day? But for me, it was very impressive. Look at that. Pure through the hands.
Well, Zoya, 13.833. She goes into the lead.
Good score.
Majofia Kovacs. Silver in the all-round. Such disappointment yesterday. Has to pick herself up. She was European champion back in 2020.
Well, that was a beautiful start. Stoop into full pirouette. Sky-high Jaeger caught on lovely straight arms. Big combination here, the Kachev into the puck salto. Just a bit short on that handstand, but a lovely Shap half. She's very efficient. Another handstand, a tiny bit short. But good dismount. Big step on landing. Little errors, but a good routine. And actually, probably a slightly better routine than in the all-around where she clipped the low bar.
Yeah, she did, but there are a few areas there. I mean, it's full of difficulty. Plenty of height there. Gymnasts, they want to catch on straight arms, otherwise they'll pick up a deduction. And for me, again, on some of the handstands, Chris, as you pointed out, not just locked into the handstand, but plenty of height there with the Shap half turn where she transferred from the low to the high bar, and the dismount just drifts a little bit long, which causes her to take a step forward.
Petrunius goes into the lead with 14.733.
Same as qualification, he's Mr. Consistent.
Same as Courtney. Betian, Arta of Armenia. Now, Arta was fourth at the World Championships back in 2022. He's been outside the medals at the Euros as well. He's got a 5.9 difficulty. So, Arta Betian of Armenia.
Hugely powerful start, circling above the rings into the straight top planche position. He'll do the same now into the Maltese. So precise. Gymnasts are only allowed to link 3 strength moves together at any one time. One of the requirements, swing to handstand. He'll have to swing to strength as well. Lovely double pike, swings into the Maltese. A little bit high then in that position. That was good. Back up rise into the crucifix. Another swing to strength, the top planche. Ooh, a little bit soft in the back there. Not hugely deductible. 0.1. Again, down to the dismount. Full twisting double straight. Just that little step forward. If anything, I think what's going to cost him is the difficulty. Start value is a 5.9 and the big guy's a 6.3, so it's 4/10. It's hard to pick up on this piece of apparatus. I wish the cameraman would just get the angle of the landings though.
Yes, unless one of those people with the big 6.3 start value makes a significant mistake, the gymnasts with the 5.9 difficulty are not going to be able to pick up 4/10 extra. But he's very clean.
Well, Petrunius leads on 14.733. 13.933 for Kovacs, who goes into the lead there.
6.2 on her difficulty.
Giorgia Villa of Italy next. She's the 6th highest qualifier.
And a real star of the Italian team. Here we come. Kachev, Paxolto, immediate Shap. So everything's been linked so far. Full turning, Pack. Shap with the half turn. Hits a nice handstand there. Good turn into invert, full turn. Just leg separation on that swing. She's winding up for the dismount. Full twisting double back, that's great. We haven't seen Giorgia Villa much this competition, but she was their big junior star, tipped for greatness in the senior ranks. But that was good bar work.
I must admit it, Chris, it's a lot better camera angle. This side, you can actually spot the turns, how close they are to the handstand, and those little bits of leg separations are quite difficult for the judges to spot because they sat at the side.
14.433.
So he's upped his difficulty by 0.1. But you can see it's a big battle to climb.
Absolutely.
So warm up now for the next 4 gymnasts. Things looking good, Chris, for Becky.
Well, as long as she can just keep steady and perform this routine.
Bags of experience. If she can just hold it together, a medal is well within her grasp. No pun intended.
Well, she's done these moves and elements for a lot of years.
14.066. Giorgia Villa goes into the lead.
Well, only a 5.8 in difficulty, but her execution was right up there.
Well, 3 of the next 4 gymnasts in the bars have beaten that score into qualification, one of them being Becky.
Yeah.
So it is wide open. Rings, Petrunius leads 14-7-3-3. I mean, we've only had one gymnast go above 15 in the competition, Azil.
Azil did, yeah. He did it twice, actually. Did it in
Yeah.
qualification, and he did it in the all-round. But Courtney Tulloch, a 14-7-3-3 in qualification. Yes, matching Petrunius.
Davtan 14-8. It is. He's down to the dismount. For me, Azil is by far the clear favourite. He'd have to do something quite silly to throw that title away, but yeah, Courtney's a really good chance of a silver medal, I feel.
Yeah, it's all going to be on Courtney's dismount. He's been working on it, we know.
Lifted up by Scott Hahn, coach to Max Whitlock. If you want a coach in your corner, that's the coach you want, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Courtney just warming up here. We'll see the Tulloch as well.
Is he doing it in the...
Oh.
Who knows?
Warm-up is over.
So time is up, and on we go with the latter stages of these two finals, the women's uneven bars and the men's rings. Courtney Tulloch will be last up on rings, and Becky Downey will be first in this section.
The gymnasts on bars are allowed 50 seconds a person, so sometimes their warm-up runs a little bit longer. However, that's 50 seconds a person from the moment they first spray the bar.
Well,
looks like a shepherd's crook, that, Matt. I think forage horse.
Yeah. Very useful.
Yeah.
Even in the gym. Ovagan Dabtian. Vagan has had quite a bit of success at the Euros. He was second back in 2016, third 2019. He's been a world finalist as well. 14-8 he scored in qualification. So looking to go ahead of Petrunius, who leads on 14-7-3-3.
And he's an immensely strong gymnast on this piece of apparatus. And he doesn't look like your traditional strong ring worker. He's got long levers. But he does perform extremely well. Crucifix pressing into the Maltese. Layout into the handstand. Double pike front somersault into another Maltese position. No flicker at all. Every ounce of experience into his performance. Another swing to strength, one of the requirements, back up rise into the straight top planche. A little bit soft in the back there, a little bit of a waver. Full twisting double straight. Just that little adjustment, well, that should go into the medals. Big routine from the 34-year-old. Impressive work, Christine, from a man of his age.
Very much so. I felt, you said he was a little soft in his back. I feel sometimes a little soft in the knees as he kips as well.
Well, on we go with the women's uneven bars European final. Here's Great Britain's Becky Downey. She played her part in a team gold. This is all about her. 2 times European champion in the past, 2014 and 2016. Could this be a year for another European medal? Come on, Becky.
Come on, Becky, and this first move is crucial. The pirouette needs to finish in handstand, and it does beautifully. Sets up the Kachev with the half turn, down to the low bar. Now the combination of Shap uprise into clear Kachev. Another pack down to the low bar now. Oh, hold that handstand, Becky. Shap with the half turn up to the high bar. Just to dismount. Winds it up. Wait. Fantastic routine, Becky. Well done. She'll be absolutely thrilled with that.
Well, that was absolutely superb. Great Britain's Becky Downey delivered when she needed to. My word, the pressure was huge.
What a routine there, guys. Again, under huge pressure. Seen a few gymnasts make a mistake early on. First out in this second group. No question at all on those handstands, Christine. It was absolutely fantastic. And no matter what the outcome, she could not have done that any better. Well done, Becky.
Davchan, 14.733.
No, that was absolutely super from Becky. Once she hit that first pirouette into the handstand, which is, you need such precision for.
Socrates Pilakouris now of Cyprus, qualified in 8th. Got a second at the Commonwealth Games.
Nice, solid first position. Maltese using all his strength to press into the top planche. Swing into the inverted crucifix. You see the top of his shoulders level with the top of the rings, and they must be flat. Come on, keep pressing. That's good, strong work. These gymnasts are hugely powerful, hugely strong. Pound for pound, I would say the strongest athletes on the planet. Good position in the handstand, locking out well. Forward long swing. It's a little adjustment. Winds up, needs a good strong dismount, full twist in double straight. Good routine. Just down a bit on start value. I don't think it'll challenge, but again, another great routine in this rings final.
Like you say, Craig, they're so powerful, so strong, these gymnasts. Just a bit piked in that dismount. Just a little shade off the straight shape.
Little high on one of the inverts, but we'll hold our breath now.
Well, the score to beat is 14.066 as it stands from Giorgia Villa of Italy.
Surely it's got to go above that. What a routine.
I would hope so. I mean, if she's going to medal, it needs to go significantly ahead of that. But I would have hoped it would.
Wow.
It looked strong.
There'll be 3 gymnasts after Becky to go, who scored a 14.5 and a 14.4 in qualification. So this needs to be big. 14.233 for Becky Downey of Great Britain. It's going to be a nervous wait.
It is going to be a nervous wait. She got her 6.3 start, which was what she needed.
Well, the next gymnast to go, Lisa Wallen of Belgium. She was 4th in the all-round competition yesterday.
And has had an absolutely fantastic championships. Straight up to the high bar and into the pike Jaeger. Lovely flight there. And the big Kachev with the half turn down to the low bar. So many of these gymnasts favouring this. Here's the Shap to the high bar, back to the low bar. She's a very efficient gymnast. You don't see a coach hovering around. Lovely Shap half. Toe full, clean in the handstand, takes the extra giant into the full twisting double back. But I'm very impressed with this gymnast. She was 4th last night all around, and she's come out and vaulted and done a bar routine.
Totally
she knows
agree.
her work.
Totally agree. I mean, the effort level is incredible.
That was lovely there, the catch-up with the half turn down to the low bar. That takes some adjustment to square yourself up for the upstart, and then opting to take that extra long swing to set up for the dismount. She had a 14 in qualification. For me, it's behind Becky's.
Yeah, I think difficulty level is behind Becky's.
14.233 puts Apparatus into 6th. Adam Azil, the all-round champion, on to rings. Can he make it double gold? He's put in some huge rings performances this week, and now, my word, does he need it now. He's capable of scoring over 15.
Phenomenally strong here. Pressing from below the rings, up into that straight top planche position. Into the Maltese, flat with the rings. Often gymnasts flicker a bit between positions, but not this gymnast. Inverted crucifix, swinging out, double pike, double tuck, back up rise to the Maltese, swing to strength. This is hugely difficult work. Another swing to strength, back up rise into the top planche position, crucifix. Is yet to swing to handstand. There you go. Such a nice line. Off down to the dismount, just that little adjustment. Well, that's the one to beat. I think you're looking at the European champion.
Oh, it was absolutely superb. The score, 14.733 to beat. Surely he's done that.
Well, he was very emphatic, very sure of all his positions. And like you said, Craig, when he swung to handstand, it was one of the best, most controlled handstand shapes we've seen.
There's only one bit in the routine, you would say, is the inverted crucifix, where he's not totally flat with the rings, but everything else is unbelievably precise. Courtney, pressure on.
Well, he's up next. The last gymnast to go. Lisa Wallen scores 13.733.
Yeah,
behind Becky Downey.
Yeah, you
so
see 5.8 difficulty to Becky's 6.3. That's 0.5 difference.
So there's 2 gymnasts left to go. So Becky Downey is guaranteed a European bars medal. Isn't that wonderful? What colour will it be? Well, Alice D'Amato will have something to say about that. She scored a 14.5 in qualification.
And a super shot into Kachev. She hits a fabulous handstand shape, and there is the very difficult combination of the stall to Kachev into full turning pack. Super up to the high bar with the shap half. This is just the bit she can get caught out on. That turn was better. Now the full turn, she full turn here. Just a tiny bit late. Good enough to go into the dismount today, though. I think that's your winning routine.
Very strong. Elizabeth Seitz still to go. She scored a 14.4, so this is going to be very close.
Well, she matched Becky on difficulty. That's a huge dismount, the double front from the full pirouette. Interesting, before the dismount, how she shuffles right along the bars to fit those skills in. But yeah, lovely routine.
14.233 is Becky's score.
How close to a 15 is he going to go?
Everybody's looking at the scoreboard. It's 14.933 for Adam Azil. 1 gymnast left to go. It's Courtney Tulloch. He knows he's got a medal. Petrunius hangs on in 3rd. Davtyan 2nd. Last to go then, Great Britain's Courtney Tulloch, going for his 4th European rings medal. He can challenge. Come on, Courtney. We're all with you.
Needs every ounce of composure and strength. Lovely start. Circle into the straight. Planche position and again into the Maltese. Kip into the Maltese position again. It is so difficult to split these gymnasts. Double front pike into the handstand. Superb control, locks out. Back up rise and then straight top planche into the crucifix. Oh, and look at that! Woo-hoo! Needs to get to handstand. Front somersault into the crucifix. I would say the most precise in the positions we've seen so far. It will all be down to the dismount. If he nails this, it's got to be a medal. Come on, Courtney. Full twisting, double straight, just that little step. Well, I wouldn't like to call it because that was a routine and a half.
Well, he gave absolutely everything. You could see it. He was exhausted by the finish.
He just kept going and going.
That is the best I've seen Courtney on the rings. He's really matured. Just a bit chest down on the dismount. It depends what deduction they make for that little step.
Could be 0.3.
14.733 is the score he needs.
But he's out to 16.3.
It's a 14.466 for Alice D'Amato. She goes into the lead. Becky Downey in second. And the last gymnast in this women's bars final, Elizabeth Seitz. She scored a 14.4 in qualification.
Another hugely experienced gymnast. Really lifts and floats that uprise into Stolderkachev. Great lift on the Jaeger somersault, the front somersault. That's the third big release, the piked Kachev into pack. Shut half. Super pirouette into the dismount. Great work. She was a shade off on a couple of handstands, but that's going to be a very, very tight score.
Both myself and Craig's heads flicked to you there to say, well...
Well, Christine, you've been called the Oracle of Gymnastics
really?
by somebody out there, so what is the Oracle saying for Becky's medal? Bronze or silver?
I think actually...
I'm going silver.
I think actually silver. I think there were just a couple of areas there. Big hop on the dismount, couple of handstands, but she's got huge energy on bars.
She has. Well, a long wait for both our gymnasts.
Courtney Tulloch, 14.466. It's not good enough for a medal. What a shame, but he gave the lot. But there is the European rings champion. It's gold here to go with gold in the all-round in front of the home crowd, my word. Petrunius just couldn't do enough to win that 7th title. But this championships is all about this man. It's a golden week for Adam Azil. And what an accolade to take gold on rings and gold in the all-round. You'd never put those two together.
No, you wouldn't. I know one thing for certain, he won't be winning gold on pommels. His shoulders are too big. But it's interesting that somebody who's so good on rings and so powerful makes a good all-round gymnast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, all eyes are on the scoreboard now for Elizabeth Seitz. Is it enough for silver or bronze? Is it enough for a medal? We think it is. It's 14.2. It's 3rd for Elizabeth Seitz. So that means that Great Britain's Becky Downey gets a silver medal. And there's your champion, Alice D'Amato, with a sister who got a silver on vault.
And great result for Becky Downey. Silver medal.
That was a fabulous performance under that pressure, and will do her loads of confidence, motivation to get back in the gym and get stuck in. I mean, that was just brilliant. Well done, Becky, and all the coaches. You've really put the graft in and been rewarded for your efforts. Commiserations to Courtney, just outside there.
But well done, that man, Adam Azil. A golden routine on rings. And Alice D'Amato, the champion on bars with Great Britain's Becky Downey, a silver, 31 years old, back in the team, did a bit to get a gold with the team, but my word, that was all about her. And she'll relish that silver after everything that she's been through. Adam Azil takes the gold on rings, with Van Dabjan second and Petunias third. Great Britain's Courtney Tulloch finishes in 6th. Just to let you know that the Women's Six Nations Wales v England will follow the conclusion of the gymnastics here, but Alice D'Amato takes gold for Italy. Rebecca Downey, silver for Great Britain. But that's all from us here. We'll see you tomorrow from 11 o'clock on BBC Two. Hope you can join us then.